Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lax rats alike, welcome back to another episode of the Crease Dive. Today is Monday, June 13th, and I think it is time to officially cancel the season for the Redwoods. They are the Deadwoods, and I am Jordie from Barstool. With me, as always, we've got Doogs on the mic. Doogs, fresh off a birthday, feeling a little older, feeling a little wiser. How are you feeling about the games this weekend?
Yeah, no, I feel like I still, the years change, the age changed, but I'm still probably at least a top 1,000 member of the lacrosse media. So not much is changing in that regard. But look, the Redwoods shocking. Good weekend in Charlotte. It looked like the stars came down. You saw Sam Darnold, Luke Kuechly. But overall, I'm pumped. PLL is coming to Long Island this weekend, so look, I'm pumped, happy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, a team who hopefully they're going to be looking. I mean, I don't know how much you can change in a week, but they have to look pretty drastically different in Long Island. Or whoa, hold up. That's
That was
the first.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
didn't even mean to. I caught myself though.
Restart it.
Yeah. Throw some cutlets at me. A team that has to look pretty drastically different on Long Island than they looked down in Charlotte last weekend are the Redwoods. So, I mean, let's just get right into this. It was a beatdown of biblical proportions for the Chrome, but just really one of the most pathetic performances that I've seen in quite some time out of the Redwoods. I mean, this was a team, dude, 1 goal in the first quarter, 0 goals in the second quarter, 1 goal in the third quarter, and 1 goal in the fourth quarter. I mean, and listen, hashtag Billy was right. Hashtag Acello apologize to Billy right now, because Billy called this out in Slip the Picks last weekend. He said, like, listen, the Redwoods, they have all these studs on offense. It doesn't make a lick of sense why they're not any good. I think we kind of pieced together that there are a whole bunch of studs on this Redwoods team, but they all need the ball in their stick to make something happen. They all need to initiate to make something happen. And what happens when you have a bunch of guys who need to initiate, but no one who can finish? Well, you don't have a single quarter where you score more than 1 goal. So Redwoods, just yikes.
Yeah, and the thing is at training camp, I heard that the Chrome kicked the shit out of the Redwoods. So I don't know why. I do this all the time. I'm like, during the pick show, I say good things about the Chrome. I'm high on the Chrome going into the season, and then the Chrome get a legitimate test for the first time. I'm like, they're not going to win. So I don't know why I don't ever just like stick to one thing, but Redwoods look like they are lost. They look like they might need to do what the Atlas did when they just overhauled their roster. I mean, look, maybe send look, I don't know if this is controversial or not. I would trade Rob Pennell like tomorrow. If you think about it, the makeup of their offense, when did they really, really succeed offensively? 2019, 2020. When did they get Rob Pennell? 2021. Is he a great player? Yes. What team could he go to right now? I mean, maybe the Waterdogs, but maybe they don't. I don't know, but I think that something has got
the
to
Waterdogs, though, like, you can't. If you put Rob Pennell in the Waterdogs, it's like, well, you already have Michael Sowers, and that's realistically the same person.
You could, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I take Michael Sowers right now over Pennell, and also like maybe we look at something like the 2 quarterback system. I don't know. Does the system have to change? The Redwoods are running? Maybe. Does the personnel have to change? Possibly, but something's got to give, or you got to start planning for the future, and you got to start trading away one of your best players for like draft picks or something to legitimate contender. And then like even looking at a guy like Troutner, who's succeeded in this league and is young, bright goaltender. I mean, the first 2 weeks, not good. I mean, I think his save percentage is sub 30%, which is gross. I mean, and that's another thing is it the defense? Is it the goaltending? TD, like the entire makeup of the offense in that game was shit. I mean, credit to Connor Farrell. He won all the clamps. When he needed to be stronger, he was stronger. When he needed to be quicker, he was quicker. So kudos to him. He really looks like a top 2-3 faceoff guy again in this league. So I don't know. Chrome, was I right about the Chrome? Could we get a Dukes was right, or is it too early?
Well, I think right now, I think that Doogs is on the right path to being right.
Yeah.
I think now listen, maybe, if this was week one, right, and we saw the Chrome just dismantle the Redwoods in that fashion that we saw without like if we went into this game thinking of the Redwoods how we typically think of the Redwoods, I'd be like, wow, like this Chrome team, they are a bunch of ass kickers. Since we've already seen the Redwoods get shit pumped a little bit, maybe I'll still wait one more week to really decide on the Chrome. But like again, like this, I mean, yeah, you could say what you want about taking Wisnauskas over Gray with the first overall pick, but I mean, he had 5 goals on the day, huge breakout game for him after being a little quiet in week one, which is very understandable. I mean, the guy just came off of winning a national championship, had to fly all over the place for the Tewaaraton celebration, had to celebrate winning a national championship. So I'm sure that he was still playing a little guilty. So like week one, Logan Wisnauskas, you were going to get him at like 30%. We finally have like an 80% Logan Wisnauskas, and he put up 5 goals. Dylan Malloy still looks so good. Yeah, I mean, Connor Farrell, who's a guy who, I don't know, I find it hard to give him the credit that he deserves, mostly because he's not a good lacrosse player. Like,
he's a really good lacrosse player.
Yeah, but like you put the ball on his stick and it's just like terrible. That's why I'll never give him like the respect that he deserves, because like he is as true of a face-off and get the ball out of your fucking stick as soon as you can and get off the field immediately as it gets, but super effective at his job. And when you can do that to TD, a guy who is very good, very respected in the face-off game, then yeah, I mean, that one's on me for not respecting Connor Farrell enough. The milkman, I owe him a few gallons.
Yeah, and let's just say we're not going to do the weekend preview obviously right now, but I can only imagine how many people he's going to have on Long Island. Like they probably are just going to block off the entire like end zone for his family and friends. But he's not, going back to his stick skills, I agree. And that's where I think like Trevor Baptiste, like with the box game, I think like maybe Ocello said it on Twitter, but it's a really good point. Like Baptiste used to be one of those guys where like the ball's got to get out of his stick immediately. Like I didn't think he was very good like lacrosse player, but I think box has helped him out a ton with the stick skills and
I mean, dude, like he had that goal.
Yes, the behind the backhand. Like I don't know, like Farrell should start looking at going into the box. I mean, I don't know how.
I mean, you see TD going. I mean, TD's playing with Toronto.
Yeah.
Nardella was playing in the NLL this year. I mean, Max Adler was playing in the so like all these guys are like making it over to the NLL, and I think these box teams are now. I don't think that they necessarily were like crazy about bringing like this much face-off talent into the league, but it's like once one team gets like the guy who's winning every face-off, now like you have to be like, well, fuck, like now we have to get one of those guys too. So you're going to see all these guys come into the league.
Was that a very, very like controversial thing with like box lacrosse? They hated getting the face-off guys from field.
No, I don't think it's that, but like you think about like what people are saying about the face-off and field lacrosse, where it like slows down the game, and it's like, is it a part of the game? Absolutely. Is it like a crucial focal point? Not like, I feel like they would just have like Jeremy Thompson would go out and take face-offs, but then also play. So it's like, I don't really know if there was a true face-off position in the NLL before. I mean, maybe
it's just called transition, I think.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there was, but like I feel like there were more transition guys.
Yeah.
But then Trevor comes in to play for the Wings and he's kicking everybody's ass. And then they're like, well, all right, like I guess we need to do something about this. Like TD, what are you doing this winter? Like you want to come hang out in Toronto? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, so Connor, I mean, definitely wouldn't hurt the stick skills. I mean, Chrome defense was on fire.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Manley right there with 3 CTOs. I mean, Jesse Bernhardt, and anytime you have a Bernhardt running around out there, you know that they're going to be bullying people. So the Chrome look really good and the Redwoods look really bad. That's pretty much all you need to know out of that game.
Yeah, just great for the Chrome, especially. Just got to be pumped with your specialists. It looks like the upgrade. I mean, look, I think one of the best things about Galloway obviously was his leadership in goal for the Chrome, and like his clearing ability has always been stellar throughout his career. Scanoni, the way that he's able to get clean saves and then just get the ball out of his stick, I feel like his passing has been one of the more impressive things that I've noticed from his game. And also just like anytime you save, you go 70 from the face off, that's basically 70 in the cage for save percentage. Lowest amount of goals in PLL history. Yeah, I think that would be a good recipe for success. I think the Chrome should do that more. I think they should win 70% of their faceoffs every game. I think that they should score 12 goals and have their goaltender save 70% of his shots. I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, well, looks like Dukes is coming for that HC spot with the Chrome because that's
I think that here's the analysis you need.
Coach Dukes with the game plan. All you got to do is just win every face off, save every shot.
Put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, it's going to happen. And then here's what else I'll suggest. You should hold. Who do they play next week? Let me see.
They are playing again. So we've got Chrome taking on the Waterdogs, and we're gonna get to the Waterdogs in just a bit here, but they are also a team that is dead.
I would say that they should hold the Waterdogs to 2 goals.
All right, put it on the scouting report.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
All right. The second game of the weekend, the Archers taking on the Chaos. Chaos obviously still without all those Bandit guys. They lost a tough one to Colorado in game 2 of the NLL Championship Series. So that means that series is going to go on for another week now. So, I mean, Archers come out and like first half, just dick kicking the Chaos. I mean, you put a short on Will Manny, you're probably going to have a bad time. You put a short on Matt Moore, kid who probably hasn't seen a short stick since like 5th grade, you're probably going to have a bad time. So Archers were just having their way with the Chaos left and right in the first half. I think it was, here we go, 10-4. Heading into the locker room at halftime. All of a sudden, third quarter rolls around. Chaos starting to get a little of their mojo back, right? They're getting a big goal out of Austin Stotts, the big fella, bringing the juice. They're getting couple of 2 bombs out of CJ Costabile, bringing the juice. Kyle Jackson with a few nice finishes inside. So, I mean, Chaos just chipping away. This one got as close as 14-12 towards the end, but then Archers put an end to that one. They got a couple empty netters at the end. So 17-12 final on that one. The final score looks a lot worse than it actually was. Like this was a game that very, very easily all the momentum was going the Chaos way late in that game. And if it weren't for a massive hit out of Adam Gettleman on Westberg, coming out of the cage and just laying the pipe, that game could have easily gone to the Chaos.
Yeah, I think that it's very hard to just talk about the Chaos right now because you know what they can be and you know that they're just not there right now. They went 0-2 last year. Then obviously everybody knows that they went on that championship run. Go out to 0-3 though, and then you have to integrate all these players into the offense again. So that's where I'm getting a little bit worried with them because I think that everybody knows how talented they are, especially like defense is still there, Blaze is still in cage, but I don't really know how to grade this game. But I know that through the first 2 weeks without their starting lineup, basically, that I don't think the Chaos look bad at all. And I don't think that this is necessarily a good win for the Archers either. No,
not. I mean, like in both games, the Chaos have had opportunities to win, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they obviously, the Whipsnakes, had to come back against them in week 1. And then they were just 2 goals away from really taking over this game at the end there in this one. So yeah, I think once all those Bandit guys get back there, like I think what they bring on the field and also like off the field, like the amount of confidence and the amount of swagger that those guys bring into that roster. I think that, I mean, this isn't like a crazy wild take to say that the Chaos are going to be great considering that they're coming off of a championship last year, but like once those guys get added back into the lineup, you also get to add Hoka to the mix too. I think that this team is going to be very, very dangerous, because if you had a couple more just certified finishers, couple more just bad men on offense in that game, like there's no way that the Archers are able to stop that avalanche from happening.
And the one bright spot you got to be looking at for like the chaos, CJ Costabile looks like,
dude, he looks like 2010.
It's insane. I mean, seriously, he through 2 weeks he might be playing as the best LSM in the league right now. Kyle Jackson, I think that you're getting a lot of good production out of him. Someone that was a bright spot last year. So there's a lot to be proud of as a Chaos fan. There's a lot to be proud of even as like an Archers guy, but I don't know, if I'm a Chaos fan, I'm a lot more happy than if I were to be an Archers fan. If that makes any sense.
Right. And again, like we also have to mention, like the Archers are still playing without Granament. So, once you add it, like they got up to a 10-4 lead in the, in the first half. Like who knows what that could have been had you had Granament into the lineup. Now it's not like they're like missing him that much, because they're getting, they're getting good contribution, like Connor DeSimone coming on and chipping in offensively right away. I mean, Matt Moore getting, his first few goals, dude. And like he had one where he just, I think it might've been Camizio was the short stick who was on him, but just like shoved him off, like lowered the shoulder, shoved him off him, stepped back and just let it splash. Like that's not really like the game that like we're like really used to seeing out of Matt Moore. Like he's usually been like a little bit more flashy in college as opposed to like a physical dodger, but like showing that he has that physical dodging side. And then he had like another one where he just got like 7 yards of separation off of his defender and had his hands free for like 4.5 days before he let it fly. But yeah, so I mean, getting those guys going too. And then once you add Granament to the mix, obviously great to see that Will Manny is still producing at a high level, right? Because like, who knows like how many more years you have left of that. But it looks like they have this one going. So yeah, I think that this was one of those games where it was good news for both teams.
Yeah. And also,
but that Gettleman hit though was
ridiculous.
I mean, that was my favorite highlight of the weekend. Tough look for Westberg, but Gettleman and like you look at when that happened in the game, it was 14-12 Archers. Chaos had just scored the last few goals. There were like 2 minutes left. Like if Westberg catches that, he puts it in the net. They're only down by 1 with 2 minutes to go, like that. And also Archers don't have anything at the faceoff stripe. Like that's a win for the Chaos.
So you wouldn't be even like, you're looking at both teams, right? The Chaos, what I'm worried about is you drop next weekend, or you go 0-3, and then you have to wait. And then you have to wait for Josh Byrne to Hoka again, integrating into that offense. So you just drop.
But
like,
I don't.
When do you get worried if you're the Chaos? I'm not saying they won't be talented. I'm not saying they won't steal wins. I'm not saying they'll miss the playoffs. But there does come a point where you're like, guys, we could do like they're not just going to let us into the playoffs. Like we have to win to get in. Is there ever going to be
the good news? I mean, the good news is like everyone but one team gets in, and I think it's like safe to say like right now the Redwoods are. I mean, they're 0-2 with a goal differential of -15.
Fair. And also, I don't think I'm looking at the Chaos schedule right now. I was saying like if they drop, I didn't know how that schedule is going to shake out, but they're not going to go 0-3 in the next 3 weeks. I'd be shocked.
And also like I think like the style of offense that those guys play, it's not going to take very long for them to get integrated. I can't imagine that there's really much that goes on offensively for the Chaos besides just like, hey, you guys know what you like to do. Just go out there and figure it out on your own. Like just, it's pretty free flowing. And I think that's where all those guys thrive.
Very fair. Very fair. And also just like with the Archers, I bet you it's very frustrating for Ignacio. He's trying to get adjusted to these new rules. He wants more reps, more practice. I mean, just having to take the visa issues this weekend, that's got to be a little bit annoying, a bit of a hassle for him.
Yeah, I forget who said it. I mean, maybe it was Acello, maybe it was Dan Arrest. Like maybe I forget who I saw it from, but they said like this is the only week that should be an issue.
It is. And it's not like it shouldn't be a huge issue in the long run. Just short term, it's just like annoying. Next week, then you have to like just get back out there.
Right. All right. So moving on into the Saturday slate of games. This is one where, I mean, watching it in real time, I might have gotten I might have got a little ahead of myself on this one because the Atlas were taking on the Cannons, and this was a Lyle Thompson less Cannons team. So Lyle suffered an injury at some point during week one or during training or whatever. So Lyle was not available for the Cannons in this one. And so you're thinking, okay, Cannons going up against the Atlas. The Atlas are an absolute wagon. They speed bagged the shit out of Redwoods to start the season. Then they come out this week and they don't have to go up against Lyle. Like, this could get ugly quick. Cannons looked really good there in the start of the game. I'm pretty sure they got out to like a 4-1 lead. So at that point, I had tweeted at you because you've been banging the drums that the Cannons are the worst team in the league, and you've been banging the drums that the Cannons are going to finish last. And here they were without Lyle Thompson going up against the Atlas. They were up 4-1 in the first quarter. But then I just forgot that like lacrosse games are 4 quarters long, because after getting out to a 4-1 lead, the Atlas ended up then winning. So 4-1 final score, 16-8. So 15-4.
Let's be clear about something with the Cannons. It's very easy. It's very easy to say like retro, like I'll take some things back about the Cannons, and I'll keep some things. Do I think through 2 weeks that they are the worst team right now? No. Do I think that they will be a like top 4 team that's making the championship series? No. I think that the one team misses the playoffs. So if they got into the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised. If they're the last team into the playoffs, like how that wrong am I? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
how that wrong am I? I'm one team off, so it's not like the craziest thing. But their 6-on-6 offense is good. It's just good. It's a good offense when they have the ball. I'm still not high on Stephen Kelly. I kept saying that. Like, he just cannot compete with the top guys in the league. I feel like he gets his number against a couple of guys, but that's really it. He's probably like, because I think that just the drop off from like, I don't know however you want to rank them. It's Baptiste, TD, Nardella, and who's the other one I'm forgetting? Connor Farrell.
Yeah, you could put the milkman up there now.
For sure. No, those are always my top 4. And then the drop off after that, I think Stephen Kelly might be the 5th, maybe T. Like the rest, I really don't care about. But no one really ever gets their number against those 4 guys. Stephen Kelly might have his number against like Connor Farrell or someone random, because face-off guys are weird where they get their numbers on some guys. But I just don't think
the Cannons definitely wasn't getting them against Trevor this weekend.
No,
I think look, Trevor 20 of 24 from the face-off strike. Also had he had a goal and an assist, and just a cool little 12 GB day out of TB9.
How do you feel about the Cannons? Like, I feel like their offense when they had the ball wasn't bad, but Trevor just didn't give them any opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, so not only do you not get the opportunities because Trevor's winning every face-off, also, like, this is grading them without Lyle in the lineup. I thought that Asher came in and looked pretty good. I mean, he didn't have like a monster day, but like obviously that's going to be the case when now Atlas, they weren't going to have to worry about Lyle Thompson. They can then put a pull on Asher Nolting. I don't know. Like I thought that start was really promising. The toughest thing that like against this Atlas team though, is like, they just like, they can get going and all of a sudden like your finger snap and you have a 4-1 lead. All of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, fuck, like we're down like 12-6 right now. Like what the hell just happened? Like it all just happened so quick because they score, you go and you take a face off, they get it back. They have a really good possession. They score again. They win a face off. Who knows? Maybe you get a really good stop, but then you go down the other end of the field and like Cade Van Raphorst just like strips you real quick, goes down the other end. then you'll have Jeff Teat like falling down to his knees and still hitting Brendan Curry like right on the ear for a nice easy assist, score again, face off, get the ball. Like, so it all happens so quick. Like it's tough to I don't like it's kind of like the replacements, right? When they're talking about quicksand and like that's like you're trying to fight your way out of it and you just keep sinking. Like you're like, all right, like what the fuck are we gonna do at the face-off stripe? Let's fight even harder on these wings. And now those guys are so out of position. You go down and you get scored on again. So I don't know, tough to grade against the Atlas. I still like this Cannons team as like again, like I'm not saying that they're a championship team, but like that 5 through 7 seed. Like right. You know, like they could be a 5 seed where they're like comfortably in the playoffs, or they could be the second to worst team.
That would be great if like by the end of the year, if the score differential, the way like it could shake out, if they could finish anywhere from like 5th to last place. You know how like that happened last year with the Waterdogs, how like they were like 7 and then all of a sudden you could just shoot up to 1st or whatever. If the last week of the season, if it just came down to either me being right about like the Cannons finishing last, and it was all based off score differential, like they finished top 5, you're like, you freaking moron, I told you. Like that would be great content. But I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed with the Cannons. Like 6-on-6 offense. That's really all I'll say. When they resettled, I didn't think they were that bad. And I think and then they didn't even have Lyle, which is scary.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be tough for anyone to keep up in the score differential category when you have to go up against the Atlas. So, I mean, let's just, so Atlas right now, I mean, they're plus 14 and Redwoods minus 15. So pretty big gap there between those two teams. I mean, I do love like the score differential really does add a little, like some late game juice to some of these games. Because like, again, like Chaos going all out for a game, which realistically, like it was over with 2 minutes left, but then they, you know, they're pulling Blaze out of there and it's like, guys, like you might need like
that's
those
what I was thinking.
like you might like this one's kind of already wrapped up. Like, I don't think you guys are gonna like, and sure, I get it. Like you're winning face off. So you're like, anything's possible. But I don't know, like those last 2 goals, who knows how that'll shake out in the score differential when it comes to seedings for the playoffs.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you guys, like, I know that you don't want to, you can't tell your locker room this, but like, you're not supposed to win these games right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the replacements. You're just supposed to try to grind out a win. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just keep the game close. That like, just compete as hard as you can. I thought that was a little bit crazy. I agree with that, but like, you also can't convey that to your locker room.
I don't think Andy Towers is really like a, hey, let's keep it close kind of guy.
Yeah. But just looking back, it's like, it could fuck them. And maybe at the end of the year, they could be like, well, I'd rather get fucked on the score differential than not compete for the full time. I don't know. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, it'll just be interesting how that shape, like in terms of seeding. I don't know. Cause like right now, like, I mean, let's just say that the playoffs were to start. Well, either way whatever. We'll figure it out when we get there. It's a bridge that we'll cross when we get to it.
Well, let's also just say this. I know where you're going with this. The Waterdogs score differential is -7 and the Chaos have an edge of -6 right now, right? We saw last week that the Waterdogs are trying to get some goals to help them with the score differential. The Chaos pulled Blaze, right? So now that score differential is only 1 away. So definitely if the playoffs are starting in like 2 weeks or something, this weekend would be huge for it and be like, wow, the Chaos could really use that 2-goal edge right now. So that's how you could look at it.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to go, but I was like confusing myself along the way. So I figured instead of tripping myself up, I just transition over to the next game.
That was a little Freaky Friday by me and you, I feel like.
All right. Well, yeah, then the final game of the weekend, a Saturday night, 8:45 game. I will say So you and I were talking about this before we started recording, talking about the schedule makeup for this summer. I personally love the Friday, Saturday games, but I will say 8:45 is a little late for 30-year-old Jordie. I was getting just a little sleepy. I mean, it's a long day, right? It's a Saturday. You're out, you're boozing on the beach. You're taking in a lot of sun. Hopefully you get, a little, 9 to 18 holes of golf in the morning. It's a lot leading up to get you to 8:45 and still have to stay awake. Doogs, I know you've got a different Saturday night schedule than the old man over here, but
Yeah, no. So we were talking about this before. Just a couple things to shake out just for like bars, just anybody in general. I like to go out. I like to have a good time, but I also like lacrosse. I also like to watch my job for a living so I can stay on topic with stuff. So I had some friends in the city for my birthday this weekend. We were at a bar and I was like, hey, could you put on ESPN Plus? And they said like, oh, we don't have ESPN Plus. What do you mean? How do you a bar in 2022 that doesn't have ESPN Plus? Like I had to move me and 10 buddies to another bar just so I could have ESPN Plus, just like pregame watching on the TV. I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's a bad business model. And I think you're doing a disservice to the fans. And I think you're doing a disservice to the customers. How could it be a sports bar with no ESPN Plus?
it is why, like, it's been a while now since I like a couple of years now where like there have been some like big things like just on ESPN Plus. Like I get like, all right, yeah, like if you're going to be there for like a football Sunday, like, yeah, it's obviously not, you don't need ESPN Plus for that. But I don't like it's like $6 a month, maybe. Like
Brett Dobson can't afford it. Remember when he said that? Brett Dobson, we have him on the stream, the backup goalie for the Archers. We have him to watch the watch long for the NCAA tournament. Doesn't have ESPN Plus.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
Poor kid just finding illegal streams and of like a dad like at the game, just like watching from his, like trying to like FaceTime his wife, and like Brett Dobson just hacks into the call so he can see the game. Yeah, but listen, if you're an owner of a bar right now, which I know that all of you guys listening are, get your ass some ESPN Plus for the boys and girls to watch this summer. Going to be a lot of lax to be watched these weekends, so get on ESPN Plus. If you have a favorite establishment, a place where you're cool with the owners or the or the bar staff, like let them know, hey, like you guys can even use my account. Like just put it on for the boys and girls. But yeah, what's up?
Do you have one for any of the Philly people out there?
No.
All right, I'll tell you New York City. Any New York City people, Village Tavern has ESPN Plus. That's the bar that I went to.
Oh, you were saying a bar that has ESPN Plus. I thought you were saying, do I have an ESPN Plus account that I can give to anyone in Philly? I was like, I'm not gonna put that out there right now, but if you're really hurting for one, you can DM me and I'll think about it.
That's so funny. You just gave out your email and login. All right, if you guys get us to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll give one lucky listener my ESPN Plus.
All right, I'll make it too. All right, so moving on to the final game of the weekend. This was the Saturday at 8:45. The Waterdogs taking on the Whipsnakes, and the Waterdogs got themselves going pretty early and often, got themselves a nice little lead here. It was 6-3 at halftime. It was 6-1 at one point. And you're looking at this Waterdogs team and you're thinking to yourself, all right, maybe these crazy bastards are finally going to get over that Sours curse. Maybe these puppies are going to become men and they're going to put together a full game. I mean, you had Sours getting 5 points on the night. Mikey Slosser chipping in offensively. I mean, obviously that's the shirt bump. Go over to store.barstoolsports.com, get yourself a Mikey Slosser shirt because it's the best tee that we have available. Connor Kelly getting a couple big goals. So everything working for the Waterdogs, but still somewhere in the back of your mind, you always felt that little sneaking suspicion that maybe the Whipsnakes just have what it takes to come back on these losers. And what happened from there? It was 6-1 at one point, and then it was the Juicy J Carlson show. Juicy J, 5 goals on the night, most of them coming in that second half. I mean, the Whipsnakes just blitzing the Waterdogs 6-2 in the fourth quarter. Game goes to overtime, and that is when Brad Smith put away the dagger. And then the Waterdogs still without a win in the Michael Sowers era. Well, while he's playing, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you're a lot more down on the Waterdogs than I am. I mean, I like what I saw during that game. I mean, the fourth quarter, it's embarrassing for sure. Like you just got to be able to finish the game, and in this league, you're not guaranteed anything. So, I mean, you talk about it. The biggest loser for the Waterdogs this weekend was that the fact you're not getting Dylan Moore back for another weekend. With his NLL team forcing a game 3. So I like what I saw from Sowers. I think that I'm going to put down the Sowers curse for right now, because I think that was the first game that I saw his pro career where he looked very comfortable and looked like himself. I was like, wow, okay, like now.
Except for that one moment where he got blown up by Michael Earhart. Huge. But to his credit, he popped right back up, got in the face of Timmy Moeller, and
I hate it. So we're going to disagree. Look, the whole Philly tough thing. Oh my God. He's got clobbered by 2 Long Island guys. And all of a sudden,
no.
Yes,
he got clobbered by 1 Long Island guy. Timmy Mueller didn't do anything.
You know what he did? He emasculated him, picking up his stick and throwing it to the other end. And then you know what Timmy did? Stood there towering over 5 Sowers, and Sowers looked at him like, "Do you know what my daddy's gonna do to you later?"
No, but like,
you don't think so? I thought the whole looking up at him thing was emasculating.
Yeah, but like also he's like, you don't cover you can't cover anybody, which is like,
what, the Schmeiser Award winner can't cover anyone? The 2-time champ?
I'm just saying it's not like Sowers got locked up in that game. Like he's saying like, hey, like you didn't do a fucking thing about that. Like, yeah, like maybe Earhart just blew me up, but like don't stand over me like you just did anything.
I didn't get that read. Like the ball was clearly in his stick, and Timmy just like threw it up. I think that Sowers doing the whole pointing the finger thing was like a little.
Listen,
weird.
I don't think it was like a Sowers is like the biggest baddest dude in the league, but I like that he got smoked and then didn't just stay down on the ground, like pop back up and showed like a little bit of fight. Like that's like he's a little guy, like he has injury trouble. So
I know
for a little guy like that to get steamrolled from behind and pop right back up, that showed me a little chutzpah from young Michael Sowers.
All right, fine. Yeah, look, not many people do get up when they get clobbered by 2 Long Island guys. So credit
by
to
one
Michael
Long
Sowers.
Island, by one Long Island guy.
Just getting absolutely manhandled by Long Island meat. So, yeah, it looks like Long Island won that battle, but I'm not worried. Again, I'm not worried about the Waterdogs at all. Really at all. I think they'll be. I don't think Duluth could play bad, but they'll be better with Ward.
But like. Okay, so it wasn't bad. And I also like this wasn't a win that I'm like crazy about. Like I don't think that the Whipsnakes necessarily should feel like, yes, this was without Zed Williams. And when you have Zed Williams in the game, like that makes your offense go. So like, is it just one player? Sure. But like, that's really affecting how they're operating right now. But I wasn't crazy about the Whipsnakes. The thing though, is it's just like the Waterdogs had this game, and maybe it's because I'm so down on them, but like there was never a part where I was like, well, like, yeah, like that's the game, right? Like you just knew that these guys didn't quite have what it takes to hold on and win a game like that. Like it's not the talent. It's not like, I don't know. It's not the roster on paper. It's just like, they don't have, like, they have to learn how to win. And until they do, like, I can't I can't take the Waterdogs as a legitimate contender until they learn how to win. Same like they go on that little run to end last year's regular season. Then you get them into a playoff game, one where they have to win and they can't do anything, So it's just like this team doesn't know how to win yet. And until they figure that out, I'm out.
You don't think that's crazy to say about the team that finished on number 1 seed entering the playoffs last year?
No playoff wins.
That's fine, but Michael Sowers are playing.
Right, but
you and me are riding the Sowers curse train. So look,
so you're not a hockey guy. But like you probably know enough. Okay.
Oh, I'm a hockey guy.
Doogs, big puckhead. Yeah. I mean, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, they have just insane talent. Yeah. They go on these outrageous runs in the regular season. They win President's trophies. Like they're the best regular season team. And then they haven't gotten out of the first round of the playoffs since like most of these guys have been alive. So like they do know how to win in games where it's like, whatever, it's the regular season, like 7 out of 8 teams get in the playoffs. Like we don't really care about these games that much. Like, yeah, you can win those ones. But then when you get to the playoffs, like you have to figure out how to get it done there. Or when you're going up against a team like the Whipsnakes, like you just have to figure out how to stop that. Again, just like goal after goal. You're like, all right, like Juicy J Carlson is crushing us right now. How do we do anything to stop this guy? And their game plan, nothing.
The face-off, the discrepancy in the face-off battle, I thought Withers was going to come out. They split. Nardella got the best of him in the playoff. Withers kind of kicked his ass in the regular season last year. 85%. Like they almost went just with Curie out there.
Well, Witcher was. I think he got injured. He left after like the first
exit out.
I'm deleting that.
Yep.
Okay.
We can just keep that.
I'll edit it out for you if you're listening to this right now. I didn't edit it out. But no, it brings up a good point though, Dukes, that I forgot though about Witcher being out, and like that's maybe something where like late in the game as the Whipsnakes are going on their run, maybe if they get a few more possessions, maybe if the Waterdogs get a few more of those possessions, then they're able to hold them off. So okay, that's a very fair point.
So just the fact, so I watched it out, and never saw the injury. And then I replayed just like the goals today, just because drinking a little bit, the memory's a little fuzzy. Watching it back, I was like, oh, I didn't really see the face-off battle. The fact that it was that big of a discrepancy, I'm shocked it was even a game, because you saw just like the Atlas game, what could happen if you're not winning face-offs and you give it to a talented offense. Again, we're talking about the Whipsnakes, like not impressed again. If you're winning 85% face-off battle, you only get a 1-goal win and you're 2-time champs, been to every single championship game. Like, yeah, you're 2-0, but I'm not overly impressed at all. Jay Carlson obviously had a game, but right, are you going to say that the Whips? I'm like, I would not buy the Whips right now at all.
No, I'm not. I don't think that the Whips are necessarily. And again, it'll be different once Zed is back in the mix, but like, there's nothing about the Whipsnakes right now that I'm like, yeah, like this is they're going to be playing for their 4th straight championship game.
No, I will. Like Brad Smith, I think Brad Smith, I would buy all the Brad Smith stock in the world. I think that he's somebody where I would honestly say that out of all the midfielders that the Whips have right now, he's my go-to option from the midfield.
Yeah, and like Gutty plays a good game, and Gutty will get himself on the score sheet. But I think he's like a really good complementary player.
Gutty?
Yeah.
And I think he's realized that too. Like, I don't think that he's like I don't think he's like, I don't like, he knows his like Duke days aren't here where he's going to draw the number one poll. But like, we saw even like the fact that they're winning without Zed, and you have a guy like Goalie that can come in, put up like 3 points. Like, how many points does he have throughout the year so far? I'm going to say probably like 6 or 7. Checking right now. So he has 5 points. He has 5 points throughout the year. Like, the fact that he got like 3 and 2, and then you could plug him into the midfield, like, and go on that championship run. Like, last year, he was putting up 3 points at the midfield. So the fact that when you get him, you can bump him back up. I think that he is just a great complimentary player, and somebody that it's just crazy that the Whips have him, and they're spoiled to have him running the box down low. But
where did he go to high school?
So yeah, actually, great segue. Shout out to Garden City Lacrosse 2022 state champs, 8th title coming home. I mean, wow, what a program they run over there. Legends coming out of there, the likes of Kevin McDougall, Justin Gutterding. Yeah, but no, shout out GC. They won states, so look, you won't hear me talking about them anymore.
Well,
until the next one.
Well, yeah, I mean, when's the parade? Like, just parade down Main Street, just stopping at the local deli along the way. You driving the boat,
dude. I hope so. They forgot to call me about the alumni game, so maybe they just don't want me anything to do with the program. But I'll always be there in heart.
All right. Well, yeah. So, yeah, it's not like the worst loss ever for the Waterdogs. I just think that it shows an underlying issue for them moving forward. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like they'll be fine. They'll be in the playoffs, and then we'll just see what they do from there. Yeah, I mean, Whipsnakes, it'll be nice to see them once they have a full team. But in the meantime, there's something that's just not quite flowing as easily for their offense right now. And yeah, so that were all 4 games in Charlotte. Crowd looked pretty good in Charlotte, I think, on TV.
It did. I saw this loser who, like, people have got to understand that, yeah, like, you're not going to sell out. Like, this weekend at Hofstra, you probably won't sell out. It's a summer weekend. You know, these parents on Long Island, they already go to enough like high school lacrosse games. They want to go enjoy the beach and all that. So just like, you have to think about it. It's not going to be filled around the stadium. It's going to be sides and sides. And that's what Charlotte had. There was 2 sides that were packed. I feel like they did better, like very good attendance, but then there's just the end zone. You're not going to be able to get fans there because they don't want fans just scattered around this big stadium. And some lacrosse fans just have to realize that, like, you're not going to sell out every single week. Like, we're not there as a sport.
Right. You know and I also think it's like, so like give you like the quality of fans as opposed to like the quantity. So it's like they'll show shots of the crowd like after goals, and like there are people going pretty close to wild, like a lot of really like diehard fans. And then also like you get the shot of like the, you know, like the rabid 8-year-olds who are all going nuts every time that RJ comes around with the camera.
Yeah.
So like they're obviously going to show like a ton of energy in the building. But like, I mean, like you just see though, like there's the basis for now, like the diehard fans. There's not thousands of them showing up to these games in droves and packing the place out, but it's there. The foundation's there.
It's the cool thing. I mean, I always like the whole motto is like the players league and all that, but like how, like you do have it solidified. Like, oh, I want to follow this guy. I like this guy. I like that team, because it's just all based off who the fans really like. I will say, you know, I'm going to be at Long Island for the PLL on Saturday. So if you see me, say what up. But it is going to be so emasculating when like me and Gutty go to Hofstra together. We'll probably carpool there or something. He doesn't know it yet, but it'll be a great drive over. But when I get out of the car and everyone goes nuts for RJ and everyone's booing me at my own homecoming, it's gonna be some embarrassing stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, I feel like you got to be a fan favorite at this point, though. I mean, you've stepped
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe like So I know you like some with the
All you got to do
Celtics.
is just get like one piece of gear
Yes,
like just bomb at them,
I'm gonna
and
steal some
then
balls.
they'll love you for it. Yeah, like you get one ball, just like dude, it doesn't even like you can just pick it up. It could be just like a regular like greasy STX ball and just pick it up and wing it at them, and they go nuts for
Yeah,
that shit. They're like, oh, it's free shit. Like that's what RJ just does. He just launches shit at little
that is
kids.
facts. Yeah, yeah. RJ, just give me some merch. Let's see who they like now. Or if I just like, I'm thinking like I just like start like gathering some like GC kids that are all wearing like their Garden City lacrosse pennies. I'm like, guys, when I like in 5 seconds, I'm gonna come over with some balls. You guys go nuts. I think they'll really like it. And have you been watching the Celtics series at all? How like anybody out there watching the Celtics series? Some people are upset that the Celtics fans we're saying some bad words to the Warriors fans.
Some cussing, some
Yeah,
bit cussing in front of children.
yeah. I think that like some of the Long Island fans maybe we'll get some like 8-year-olds. Like I want to see like how wild the 8-year-olds go. Like for RJ's like on Long Island. I don't know. It's gonna be funny.
Oh, I thought you were saying you wanted to see all the 8-year-olds cussing at RJ.
No, that's kind of what I was alluding to. Like how like what's the scene gonna be like? Like how like at what like I'm kind of too old to remember now, but like at what age does the FLID like conceptualize itself? Like what's like when does the FLID really become a FLID? Like is that 8 years old? Is it 10 years old? Or you just
yeah,
always
like I feel like my like first like real travel tournament was like I was like 12, and at that point, like the Long Island teams that we were playing against, they were full blown FLID. So like I think that they already had a couple years of like really working themselves into that role. So yeah, I'd say around like 10
yeah.
is it would be my guesstimate as an outsider, just as a guy who's dealt with 12-year-old FLIDs before.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, they probably the Long Island guys probably won that game too.
I mean, probably, yeah, but they all show up to these U12 games as like 14-year-olds. So,
No, we're not Maryland.
You fucking cheaters.
That's a Maryland thing. That ain't us.
Yeah. Joey Spallina is 25 years old. Show me the birth certificate.
All right, fine. Yeah, that's how they beat Garden City. All right, I'm in on that.
All right, well, yes, those were your 4 games. Obviously we will talk more about Long Island weekend in our weekend preview with another episode of Slip the Picks coming up later this week, but before we close out this episode, Doogs, you had Mitch Pelkey in the office the other week.
Yes.
So you guys did a goalie challenge, and then you did a little interview with him. So we'll kick over to that in just a second, but the goalie challenge went well, should be out soonish.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put out as you're listening to this, I'll probably be editing the Jared Newman goalie challenge is basically ready to go. So I did that one. That's gonna be released this week. Then the Mitch Pelkey one will be released next week. But yeah, the interview was good. It was him and his cameraman, who also is a face-off guy at Ohio State, Hogie. Mitch has got a good YouTube channel. He's been killing on TikTok and all that. So I think you guys will really enjoy it. See the behind the scenes. Besides that, I got something for the fans. I think, did I tell you this already? But on Wednesday, me, Billy Football, and Jake Marsh putting on my big boy pants, going down to Tribeca. I got a film festival to go to with the Rabels to watch Fate of the Sport premiere screening. It'll be a cool event. I've heard some good things about the film, so excited to give it a review. I'll give the honest review on the next episode of the Crease Dive.
All right. I mean, just look at you guys just moving on up in the world, rubbing elbows with the film industry over here.
Well, I mean, soon enough. I mean, look. Also, we're talking about like the whole like how we got invited. Billy, this is great. I mean, the part of my take doesn't like the Waterdogs. Jordie, we're on next man up attitudes. At what point does the Rabels just give the Crease Dive the Waterdogs?
I mean, I feel like there might be a couple steps between part of my take and us that they would keep, a couple tiers that it would keep dropping through, but they're slippery. They're water dogs, right? They're wet, so they're going to fall through and keep falling and right into our laps. And once that happens, then I'll get on the coaching staff. You'll get you'll be between the pipes in cage, and then I think that then we'll finally turn these losers into a bunch of dogs.
Yes. No, yeah, and you know what? There needs to be change.
Starts at the top.
Yeah, and then we'll have the leadership. Put me in cage. I'll be like Jackie Moon. I'll be the player coach.
All right, get those corn dogs ready, baby. All right, so that is it for our weekend recap. Now we are going to be kicking it over to Doogs' interview with Mitch Pehlke and his cameraman Hogie. Make sure that you guys are following us on social. We are at the Crease Dive on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're the Crease Dive there. We'll have the Jared Newman goalie challenge coming up soon. And then as you heard from Doogs, you'll have the Mitch Pehlke goalie challenge coming up a little later after that. And in the meantime, we'll be keeping it low to high to the day we die. We out.
All right. Welcome back to a special edition of the Crease Dive. We are joined by Hogie. And Pelkey.
The Pelkinator and Hogie out with Doogs. We're excited. New York City. Fired up to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah. I just want you guys to know this is a very special episode. This is YouTube only, so make sure that you are subscribed to the Crease Dive on YouTube, following us on all socials. Make sure you subscribe to this guy, all right?
Subscribe to me. About to break 40,000 subscribers. And let's try to get over 1,000 likes on this video. How's that sound?
Smash it for Doogs.
You
Let's
can
go.
do that.
Smash the
You
like
can get
button.
1,000 likes on the video.
We're gonna break here. We're breaking records here on the Crease Dive. How are we doing today?
Dude, amazing. We just wrapped up the goalie challenge, so I don't even know how it's gonna. Maybe that's after this episode, but
yeah,
check out the goalie challenge with Mitch Pehlke. We got the one with Jared Newman coming up next week. It's exciting stuff. Exciting time to be a lacrosse fan. That's what I'm saying right now, right?
Obviously, college lax just ended, but the PLL just starting up. That's kind of how we met last week in person for the first time. Albany PLL weekend 1. It was awesome. Get your tickets. But now we're here, dude. It's exciting.
Dude, the PLL. So let's start off with that. What did you guys think about your first? Was that your first PLL experience? What did you think?
So obviously, I've been watching for the past couple years, like on TV and everything, and then Albany there for the first time in person, and it was sweet. I think like RJ and Paul and Mike, like they really do a good job. And like comparing it to the PLL and MLL, like the PLL is just like out of this world, especially all the content you see on all the social platforms. Like it's just crazy what they can do with the sport.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been to a bunch of PLL stuff before, and it was like seeing it. I've never been up this close though. Like we were on the field, they really hooked us up. The speed of play is crazy.
Yeah.
You got to see like that ball is moving around. I think it's something that's really cool about the PLL is the players. The players are really cool.
Yep.
They stay after, they sign autographs, they take pictures. Like they're really like first class in that avenue.
Dude,
it's cool.
It's just insane. Like growing up, like you would like kind of jokingly say like, oh, I want to be a professional lacrosse player, but like you kind of knew like, oh, I want to be a real estate broker and a college lacrosse. You know what I mean? Like it was like
you had to do both.
But it is getting to the point where like it feels legitimate. Like you watched the draft
100%.
this year, it was like, oh shit, that was dope.
And now the fact it's on ESPN, like how cool is that?
Yeah, Sports Center talking. I can't wait for the moment that Stephen A. Smith is talking
about lacrosse.
Or even Dayton gets a
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's
Dayton versus Ohio State, maybe.
Dude,
That could be the next rivalry.
I mean, the last time Dayton and Ohio State played in a sport, Dayton won.
Really? What was it?
Actually, that's just cap. Because like women's volleyball could have played, but I know in basketball.
I thought he was just talking about something like the Obi Toppin days a couple years back when Dayton had that squad.
Ohio State
They got
schedule
robbed.
us.
They got robbed. COVID robbed you guys of a Final
Does
Four
Ohio
run.
State have a club lacrosse team?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Dayton would whoop their ass. No, but thank you to both of you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So you're with STX, right?
Yep.
This is one of the biggest questions I have.
Yeah.
What is it being an NIL athlete with, just everything going on in today's day and age and having the following that you have?
Yeah. I mean, I think we got to kind of date back to when I started making content. Like I started my freshman year of high school by like giving my buddies like terrible haircuts. Like that was the thing. My first video was like absolutely chucking my boy Buck up like in the chair, and it was super funny. Went kind of viral around my town. So started doing haircut videos, and then obviously I committed to Ohio State when my freshman year of high school. So brought my filming and lax kind of together, and then just kind of started creating lacrosse content. And it was always such a passion of mine. Like even though when I got to college I had to demonetize and I couldn't make any money off it, that I wanted to keep it going. And then NIL hit July 1st of last year, and I just kind of never stopped sprinting from there.
Yeah, dude, I think you've been crushing it, like
Thank you.
absolutely crushing it. And you're the man behind the camera, right?
Yeah,
So how did you
doesn't
guys
get enough applause.
How did
Like,
you?
come on, we clap
no,
it up
for
one
sure,
time.
dude. How did you get involved? It was like a freshman year thing. Like, how did he? Here's what I want to know. How did he sell you and being like, hey, I have something really cool where you'll get paid basically no money. Maybe you like get him like a slice of pizza or something. Like I don't really know the rules, but like, how do you convince you to basically hop on, get behind the camera, and help out?
No, yeah, I think it was just like everyone who knows me knows like I'm a big sports rat. Like I love sports and stuff, and a lot of the content that Mitch was doing, I found like so cool. Like when he's like, "Yo, I'm shooting a video with like Zed Key, and we get to get
basketball
behind the scenes facilities." So like at first I was like, "Yeah, like let's do it," and like. I think it was freshman year. I think the first video I filmed with you was your room tour back when you moved out.
Like Buckeye Cribs.
Buckeye Cribs.
Yeah.
Check that out. But yeah, no, I just started doing it, and then I think me and Mitch just had like pretty good connection with like ideas on content and like what we kind of want to film, and I just loved his stuff. And became good friends, and now we live together down Ohio State, and we've just kind of been filming ever since.
Yeah. It was kind of tough last year because of COVID. And we were living together, so there's so many different rules, obviously being an athlete. But then this past year, our junior year, we lived off campus in a house with 6 other guys. It's a whole other story.
Well, that's a great point because wait, so like during COVID, you know, like we won't get into not to get political or anything, but like you have to be like, oh, I'm not at this party, or like I'm not like at this like I'm not out and about with the coach, right? So like did that kind of stop you from vlogging?
I mean, it was kind of just
like cutting a lot. Like
it was hard because like you really put me in a box like content wise. Like it was literally like I could only make content inside my room with my 5 other roommates, and like other than that, you know, like if I went to go to the dining hall, I had to wear a mask, or if I couldn't even see him in the other room because we weren't allowed to see each other. So it was either like content in my room or like that's it. The only time I get to see him was at practice. So it was brutal, and like that's why like. Everything kind of aligned because COVID kind of ended, NIL hit, and I kind of just started running with it again because if NIL hit before COVID, like I wouldn't have like done anything because it was just so hard to make content.
Yeah, I feel like your content was also like you had the good vlogs with like your boys in your room, but like you can only do so much when you're in one like little dorm room with like a couple rooms and like a little living room. Like
it's tough. Yeah, it was tough.
Dude, I just like I'm so impressed with just what you and like even Stelios, just what you guys have been able to do with your pages.
Yeah.
But like even in the grand scheme of things, I noticed that you were going above and beyond in like the lacrosse, and like, you know, I mean, I know everybody. Some people just know you as the Emily Cole like situation.
The TikTok,
like, dude, someone like I made a TikTok.
We were literally in this room. I was in this room like 6 months ago with Kat. Shout out to Kat.
Dude, and I knew you from like the lacrosse, like doing the vlogs with like lacrosse and like seeing you on TikTok with lacrosse. I just kind of thought you were like just a lacrosse guy, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, you play lacrosse, you know Mitch Pehlke? And I was like, I don't know him personally, but like I know he's crushing it and like all this stuff.
That's
like,
so cool to hear. Yeah, I think that's like one of my things is like obviously I go to Ohio State and I want to capture the lacrosse team obviously and my brother's on that team, but like to capture like the Greek life and like sorority and frats and like kind of everything at the school has been kind of my goal, and doing stuff like the sorority house tour. People on campus is like definitely been our thing, and like those are the type of videos like we love making, just going around to random students like asking them questions at school.
Those have been my favorite. Those ones, just going around campus, just interviewing students. I think those are so fun.
So with Barstool, there's so many rules nowadays where like if I have to do stuff. I mean, the Crease stuff's a little bit, you know, top 100 lacrosse podcast. But like you know, it's like part of my take are all these big podcasts like they have to get like people to sign out signatures to be on camera, and I'm just like. What about the days when you could just go up to anybody and like that's but TikTok you can do that like YouTube Shorts. Have you guys been utilizing YouTube Shorts?
Yeah, I have been a lot. It's been kind of tough. So he's been living with me for the past. It's gonna be a
3
month.
Weeks now?
Yeah, it's gonna be a month, and we filmed like a video
a day, literally
every single day for like the past like 22.
Every single
day. It's like literally been like wake up, do our lacrosse lift, go film a video, come back, sleep, wake up, lift.
Do it all over again.
Yeah.
9-hour drive here, 6-hour drive here.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy's like an awesome driver. He drives. I usually edit, and that's how we kind of bang out.
That's great though. You gotta have a tandem, and you like when it's easy to like to work with somebody, it just makes everything just.
That's fun to do.
That was kind of like a big thing for me too. Like he's like such a person, like easygoing person, and I'm like Italian guy, like got no patience. So like we work together so easily because I can't do like two of me.
No, that would not work. That would not work.
Yeah. I always think about that with myself. I'm like I couldn't work.
Exactly.
Like I just have to kind of do things like my way.
Yeah.
Just like I think it's very, you know, with like creating your own content or anything. It's just I've noticed people are very not even OCD, but very anal about the way that they want it to be produced, edited. It's like everyone has their vision with things. So
that's
like,
kind of like
the fact that he can see your vision and you can like.
I think that's kind of what we do too, Mitch. I think you obviously like handle a lot of like the editing and stuff, but I think like. You know, I kind of handle some of the ideas. Even you have obviously a lot of ideas, but I'll handle some of my ideas that we think. And I feel like we never really have any pushback. We kind of just get it going back and forth. I'm like, yo, I think we should do this. You're like, yo, let's 100% do this. And we like do the video and we're like, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like
the only time I think we ever have pushbacks, like the littlest things. Like he's such a time guy, and for me, I'm just like not. And like today, I was like doing homework.
Oh God, yeah.
And I said, let's leave at 12, and then it was like 12:30. He's like just like cursing me out, like just like little things like that, but like nothing like social or lax or late.
Yeah.
No, I was just like he's like, we're leaving at 12. I'm like, all right, sounds good. He texted me like 11:58. He's like, yo, let's do it 12:20. I'm like, all right. I'm in summer school too. I'm doing some homework, and then all of a sudden I go down to 12:20. I got another assignment I got to do later, but I come down to 12:20. He's in the middle of taking some quiz that's got like 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? I could have been doing more homework right now. I could have finished all my other stuff. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'd say, you told me 12? Let's go at 12.
Like, he kind of keeps me on track.
I keep him on track. I keep him on track because he's on track with stuff. He's a big 6 a.m. wake up guy.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Every single day.
Really?
Yeah, I go to bed at like 9:30, wake up at 6.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's the perfect thing. Like, cause I always wondered this. I love the idea of being an early morning person.
Yeah.
But
Oh God.
I like to watch sports late at night.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
tough.
and I that's part of my job. So I
Yeah.
can't go to bed. So I don't go to bed till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So when I try to do the early wake up, I'm like, how do people do it?
Yeah.
The 9:30 makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I thought like
because we both get our hours in.
I thought I was like the wussy here. I thought that like everyone was going to bed
No,
at 2
I'm
a.m.
not shutting him on the
No.
6 a.m. It's like he'll get on me, dude. I've been up since 6:30 doing this. I'm like, all right, well, I just got the same work done now, and then you're doing this with the delaying me from 12:50.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny.
Is it a D1 thing? Like, is it like just like being in that
dude,
mindset?
I've been doing it since like sophomore year of high school. I'm just like a kid that like I gotta wake up early and I gotta get stuff going, or else I feel like depressed. Like I gotta keep working.
Really?
Yeah, like that's why this week we got a video every single day, and I love it like that. And like sometimes I need a week off or something like that, and I'll take that. But like I need to consistently be working. Like that's why I love the whole student athlete schedule.
Yeah, dude. What is the balance like? You know,
It's tough.
from doing your content, playing lacrosse, and then just like the social aspect of being in college.
Yeah, it was tough, and I think recently I've kind of just had to figure it out, and I've recently hired 3 editors to work with me. So now, like that, like you talk about the control of like earlier, like content, you film, you edit, you post. Like now, it's like I film and I pass to an editor, and then I post. Like I don't even touch that. So that's been really hard to kind of give up that like control, baby, I say, to an editor. And I think that'll free up a lot of my time going into my senior year. But before that, it was just a terrible schedule. Like literally I'd wake up early.
Oh man.
I would edit. We'd go to practice. I'd come back, do homework. If I had any extra time after that, I would edit. But now, like going into my senior year, I'm kind of glad it's off my plate, dude. Really enjoy it.
So you're in Jersey, right? You guys are staying in Jersey?
Yeah,
Staying in Jersey, yeah.
Have you gotten him? So is it Taylor ham or is it pork roll?
Taylor ham.
Have you had it yet?
No, what's that?
Taylor ham, mac and
You
cheese.
haven't had it yet?
No.
Yo, you might need.
I gotta go get him. We gotta get him a Taylor ham, mac and
Look,
cheese.
I'm not saying that I'm giving you content, but it's right here.
Yeah,
silly?
That's a big debate.
It's very.
We're trying John.
We're going to John's up Bleecker Street after this.
I'm taking my boys there on Friday.
Best
yeah.
pizza in New York City, in my
Let's go.
opinion.
That fires me up.
It's right around from my.
Tender. We're about to see you soon. You probably
Big
watching.
Tendy.
Are you guys going after this?
We're going after this.
Dude, we could just walk there. We could just take the
Is it
subway. It's
close?
right around the corner from my apartment.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. So
Yeah, let's do it.
that's hilarious. Then what was it? So Ohio State lacrosse players, right?
Yep.
Crease Dive listeners know I'm a huge Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't really. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know if we like that yet. But are you?
Look,
have you talked about Ohio State at all? Like on the Crease Dive?
Yeah. I don't shit on you guys, and I don't like. I say this. You guys beat Notre Dame, so I understand why you're in.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if you guys played Notre Dame at the end of the year, I think that it would be a much better game. I'm not going to say.
I don't
Dude,
know. Hey, who
I
won
don't
when
know.
we played? Who won when we played?
For sure. That's why there's no pushback here. But, look,
So who do you think should have been us and?
Notre Dame.
Okay. So you think Notre Dame should take Harvard's spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I think the whole world agrees.
I think the world agrees with that.
So-
we can take that. When they want to replace us, though, that's when we got the issue. Yeah.
But here's my thing also is, so Maryland was lights out.
Yep.
They were, I think, the best team that's ever been assembled.
Yeah.
Like, I compare them to like Villanova. Like, they didn't have. You look at Duke, you'd be like, that's a star-studded that Ty Xander's names. But Maryland just had guys that just were cohesive and played.
Yep.
Notre Dame only lost by 2. Like, that beginning of the schedule made no sense to me. But looking at the other side, what would you guys say about Donna of the selections committee? So I would say, like, Donna, F you. You guys would say Donna.
Donna, Great person.
We love Donna. We love Donna.
Job.
We love you. We saw you in the elevator last week. We were in Hartford.
She does a great job at her job, and I can't say any other.
I can't say enough good things about Donna.
Any bad things about the whole selection.
Donna, come back. We need you every year.
There's been so much bad said about Donna on this show, on this platform. So like, we need to hear some good things coming out.
Donna's a legend.
We love Donna.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, I got the mane of hair. You got the hair.
Yeah, I got the hair.
Yeah.
Feel my hair though.
Feel that.
It's really thick,
so
isn't it? You got thin locks. I got like thick hair, and he's just kind of got a little.
I just do.
He's got the calic going.
I just go with whatever. I let guys cut it. We got a barber shop in our locker room. I let guys cut it sometimes. I don't really mind.
Is this a podcast of just like 3 single lacrosse dudes?
It's just me. It's just me and Jordie. Jordie's got a family.
You got a girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, so it's three single lacrosse guys right now.
Yeah. Oh, so you and Emily Cole are officially not dating.
Wow! Drop that bomb! Drop that bomb! Wow! Everyone's been wanting to know. So
we are not dating. That is true. That's fun. That's a good segue though. That's why he creates content.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm getting better and better at it. I'm better at podcasting than I am at goaltending. I've said that.
Yeah, that is true. Roll the clip on that 7 on him.
Yeah. It's not true. You have to watch to find out.
You gotta watch the video.
But yeah, I mean, anything else you guys really want to touch on? So going with the hair. How long does it take you in the morning?
Dude, nothing. Like literally, he's seen me. I get out of the shower, I comb it, and it's so thick it like doesn't move.
Really?
That's why. That's why he said like put on the headphones. Like I can't because if my headphones are on like this, my hair will stay like that.
Blow dry?
No, nothing. I used to back in the day, but like it literally doesn't do anything. It just makes it dry faster.
Okay.
This guy was like 30 minutes after a shower to get that thing right.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to go.
But like I'm big. Like I'm big on like acne pad on my face, clean my face, lotion, shave. Like I got.
You have your routine.
Yeah, but it's the guys like bust my chops in the locker room and stuff. Like every day, I got my little Dob kit, and the guys that are showering and they're out. Like I don't do that.
See, this is the one thing I never got with like, because I played club. It was only for 1 year, but like. I would just shower and I would just shower at my house. Like, why don't you guys just go home and shower? Or do you guys just have to
come in new clothes? Because our practice block's from 11 to 3.
Yeah.
So you come in wearing new clothes, and if you leave sweaty in the new clothes, you're just like, we're college kids. You can't be doing a lot of laundry.
Or guys are going right to class. Guys are going right to class afterwards.
Seeing a girlfriend or something, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. I would have got anal though about like any sort of workout. Like today was like goalie. I was sweating because I'm just out of shape. Like not like if I'm running today. Yeah. Like I have to shower within 10 minutes of me.
100%.
No doubt.
100%.
Are you a workout guy in the morning or after?
After.
Really?
Oh, I'm morning. I gotta get that thing over with.
Well, no. So
Hogie and I were in the family Hogan gym.
We were
busting out incline bench this morning.
We were.
Coach Myers, you hear that?
We were. We were getting it done.
We were getting it done. That's been like one of the cool things. I don't think I really realized like we were living together for like a whole 30 days and like. The fact that we're pushing ourselves so much in the gym is like been cool. I've never really had a workout partner like that.
Yeah,
makes it way easier too. When you're in there, you're like, oh man, I got 2 more sets, but then you got him going like, let's go.
Like I got like the rap music bumping.
We got the Drake going in the back. Rick's going, hey.
Yeah.
So you guys, one team that I was on this pod that I was ripping on all year, your rivals.
Team up north.
Team up north.
I caught you.
It's the team up north.
Yeah.
So. So I don't know. Do you guys know what you did on the last game of the season?
Beat them.
You did beat them in the
out.
tournament. You knocked them out.
End of their season.
So what you might not know is they started their year 7-0.
Yeah, they
went on a 7-game skid.
Oh, really? So they went up 7, lost 7,
and then they finished the year with you guys. If they won, they'd finish above 500. If they lost, they'd finish below. So it just cemented it.
Felt good. Last year they knocked us out.
They knocked us out last year. We had to get the revenge.
Yeah.
Was that revenge for the rivalry game though in the football season? Does that take any? Do you know what I mean?
They got their one win out of the last 30
years.
Does
do you guys go into this like?
I mean, the rivalry is huge.
Yeah, the rivalry is huge.
It's legit. Do you take the football rivalry and you're like, oh, they beat us in football, like we gotta show payback, or is that just all myth?
Yes. No. I mean,
no, it is.
That's like probably the hugest game on our set schedule.
It definitely
obviously
is.
Without playoffs and everything, but like.
Big recruit weekend. I
got
imagine.
I mean,
that
it's huge.
Like,
we got a whole wall in our locker room for it with the countdown clock. And we actually get
in
these
the lacrosse locker room.
In the lacrosse locker room says the game has a countdown clock, and then we get these things, little golden Buckeyes. Every time you beat them, we'll get a golden Buckeye.
The football team
and
gets golden pants. We get golden Buckeyes.
Golden Buckeyes.
Yeah.
So we got 4 already.
4. Yeah.
Gonna add on to it next year, but we got 4
last year. 2
this year. So we got 4 golden Buckeyes.
Yeah. Who's the coolest athlete on campus?
At Ohio State.
At Ohio State.
I think Zeddy.
I think it was Zeddy Key.
Zeddy Key, starting for the House State basketball
Long
team.
Island guy.
Yeah, Long Island guy.
Long Island guy's got the snake. 7. Shout out 7.
Just like the nicest guy. Like
the nicest guy.
I mean, obviously you see him, you know he plays basketball, but like just from talking to him, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah, normal
he's a
guy.
Man. Yeah, he's like literally the nicest guy. Whenever you want to get food or film video, he's always there.
Is Jimmy Soros?
Jimmy Sotos.
He's a nice guy too. You don't see him that much like out in public and everything because I think he's like just like a basketball go home guy, but like super nice guy. I filmed a couple of videos with him. I think he's out in LA doing his thing now.
All right, so away from the basketball team, who was your favorite Buckeye to watch? Just to watch. No, it doesn't have to be personality. Just to watch in the years that you were there.
So far?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I don't know.
I would have to say
Who are you going with?
Delaney Lawler of the field hockey team.
Really?
Yeah, you might not know her, but she is a great athlete,
She's
and
a
I love
great
watching
athlete.
her on the field hockey field. What about you? You give us a football answer.
A football player?
Yeah.
I really liked watching J.K. Dobbins when he was
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Fun fact, actually.
He was
First
so
down-
good. He
first
was a
down
beast.
story. I
He
gotta
was
tell the
down.
story real quick. First class ever to Ohio State. It was in a movie theater. I mean, Ohio State, you guys know the classes are huge.
Huge.
I'm walking in movie theater class, entrepreneurship. I think it was 2100. Class goes good, sitting up the front row, pen and paper the Buckeye way.
There he is.
Class ends 45 minutes later. I'm walking out. I look behind me. J.K. Dobbins is in my class.
Really?
Didn't dab him up. Was way too nervous, to be honest. But sick moment. I'll never forget.
Dude, do you ever feel with like, I'm sure you get recognized. I saw you at like at the game, like the little
game,
like
yeah.
kids are just
Yeah.
mobbing you. Like you and RJ, I was just like, there's a competition of like who's
Who's gonna get
Yeah,
mauled more?
who's gonna put me on the vlog first.
Yeah.
But so like just being recognized. Do you like if you see someone like that's like famous or like even just like that they might get recognized? Will you hold up now? Because like that it could be like not annoying. You love seeing the fans and
Yeah.
everything. But is there something where you just like have respect where it's like more of a head
Yeah.
nod than like stopping them?
I don't know. I think it's tough. Like, I definitely think, like, I don't care how famous I get. Like, I'm always going to take that time to like, take pictures, sign autographs.
Yes.
Like, I think, like, that's what it's all about, you know? Like, if the roles were reversed, like, I would love for that person to, like, take a picture with me, you know?
1,000%.
And soon enough, that'll happen with you. So don't even
1,000.
worry.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you should have seen.
We're blowing up, Doogs. We're getting him. What are we at? What are we getting for this
Once
one?
again, 1,000 likes on this
likes,
video.
we
Let's
said
go.
There
1,000 likes.
There was a kid at the PLL weekend, and he asked me for an autograph, and I was like, "Are
Did
you
he?
sure?"
What'd
I
you
think
sign?
he thinks that I was the kid in the room.
I know that. I saw on
Mitch.
your story. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've signed? Because you've signed a lot of stuff these last 2 weeks. Was it the croc?
The inside of a croc.
Inside of a croc.
Dude, there was this guy.
I was doing one of these. Signing the inside.
There was this guy. This is if you're a kid, just like maybe just don't watch. Like this guy DM'd me like, "Hey, thanks for meeting me and my girlfriend this weekend." And I was like, "Yeah, no, of course." And he's like, "You remember, right?" And I was like, "I can't tell if he was messing with me," but he's like, "Yeah, like she asked you to sign her like tatas," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know if this was me, man."
The right guy.
Yeah. But I was
Wrong
like,
guy.
I was like, if that was me, that would be the weirdest thing that I was asked to like
Yeah,
ever
that's
sign.
weird.
God.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the weirdest thing originally was the lacrosse ball, but I might go to the girl.
Yeah. But
So
no.
I have a question, just to like really close it out.
yeah.
Where do you see the Ohio State Buckeyes next season?
Hosting a trophy on Championship Monday.
Yep.
And then where do you see Mitchell Pelkey and the vlog experience a year from now?
No certain answer for that. I think you just have to subscribe and stay tuned and kind of follow the journey.
I don't
But-
think you know where
I
think
think-
about this. If you were thinking about this a year ago, did you think all this content like
No way.
No idea. So
Like,
you don't
you
know
can't
where we're
even
going.
plan for the future.
You can't
like,
plan
like a year ago, like I would have been like Barstool HQ, like that's so cool, and I've now been here twice.
Yeah.
I know so many contacts here, but like you just can't plan the future. Like I'm telling you right now, like in a year from now, you're gonna be like, wow, like looking back, like where I was.
Yeah.
But the
I
only
think-
way
yeah.
for people to stay tuned is if you subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to my boy. That's really all I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
I mean,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you,
Obviously, check out the video.
Appreciate it.
It'll be
Yep.
on the Crease stuff.
Yep,
the
Crease
Crease
time.
Dive.
Let's go.
Subscribe, follow us on all socials. More things to come.
do
Goalie
it.
challenges, little interviews.
Let's
We
blow
got
this
it all.
Let's get this channel
Get
blowing
this
up.
channel going. How many subscribers you at right now?
600. Reach the 600 mark.
I love that.
Keep
let's,
it going.
Let's get them to 1,000. You can start
1,000.
monetizing.
1,000.
And then we'll go to
1,000.
5K.
1,000.
1,000. Let's get him to
Let's
1,000.
get them to 1,000, and probably the next video will be Doogs, Pelkey, and Hogie working out.
Yeah.
Get back on the train.
Get a nice lift in. Let's go.
Get me in the cage. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Deuces.
See ya.